This is the Unstarving Musicians podcast. I'm your host, Rabanzo. This podcast features conversations with me and indie music artists. Conversations intended to help other indie musicians be better at marketing, business, the creative process, and all the other things that empower us to do more of what we love. Make music. Hey, Rabanzo here. This is a special announcement episode for my gal pal Lindsay White, organizer at Lady Brain Presents. So Lady Brain Presents is hosting their monthly community gathering, which sounds like a music festival when I read the press release. It's coming up October 9th of 2019, hence this early announcement. And I'll let you learn more in this short conversation with one of the event's featured artists, Karyn Ann. One thing that came out of this conversation is the importance of networking on the road as Karyn tours about the country. She's constantly making new connections. One such connection led her to Lindsay White and the upcoming Lady Brain Presents event opportunity. Without further ado, here's a special announcement brought to you by me and Karyn Ann. Karyn, thank you again for making time for me today. How did you get mixed up with Lindsay White?
Well, I think I saw her name on a post. No, actually, my friend Jasmine Bailey gave me her name because I never met Jasmine, but somehow I got connected through her Instagram and some various internet connection. And so I was just doing research because I was putting together this tour that I'm currently on. And I had reached out to her. And I think at the time she was about to go on tour. And so she went on her tour and I tried to put something together. And she had said if I hadn't gotten anything together before or after her tour, then she'd help put something together and maybe play at it or whatnot, or at least connect me with some other musicians in the area.
Cool. And that was Lindsay that you're referring to that was going on tour and that you connected with? Okay.
Lindsay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were going to add?
And then, and then when she got back from tour, she messaged me and asked me if I had gotten anything together. And I was like, nothing solid. And so then she sort of reached out to Lou over Lestat, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And then she kind of came to me and was like, do you want to have this be a Lady Brain Presents event? And I was like, yeah, it sounds great. Cause I would rather, share the bill with a couple other female musicians to meet more locals and network a little bit more in the area.
Well, I am thrilled that we're getting to know each other through our mutual friend Lindsay. And I said, how'd you get mixed up with her? But I know she's a nice gal, and I was trying to be funny. Well, we should make a little bit of light of our predicament. So I said, I don't know if you got to see the emails with Lindsay, but Lindsay reached out to me, and I'm a big fan. And she said, hey, I don't know if you have, you can squeeze this in, but we're doing this another Lady Brain Presents event, and it's coming up pretty soon. And I thought, well, yeah, I'd love to help. So maybe I'm thinking, Lindsay's going to come on and do an announcement, but she throws your name, I guess all three of you that are performing, threw your names into the hat to speak with me, and then says, do you want them, how do you want to do it? And so I told Lindsay, well, give me a spokesperson for the event, and then I would love to talk to them individually in the normal format. So you got dubbed the spokesperson for the next Lady Brain Presents event. And so my intent was for us to do an announcement about the event today. So let me cover that really quick, and then you can fill in any blanks that you can. You certainly have your own working perspective on it. But let's see. So they just released this yesterday, today being Wednesday the 25th as we're recording. But on Wednesday, October 9, Lady Brain Presents will host their monthly community gathering at the legendary Lestat's West Listening Room. What a great name for a place. And that is in San Diego on Adams Avenue. This month's showcase will feature original songwriting from local Lady Brain Collective members, Rebekkah Darling, and SDMA-nominated Julia Sage, as well as nationally touring artist Karyn Ann. That would be you. The all-ages event begins at 8 p.m., and the cover will be $10 at the door. And yeah, so what I know about the Lady Brain Connective, I know through Lindsay White, and we talk about on this podcast. So if you are interested in learning what Lindsay shared with me on the Lady Brain Collective, which I believe was in an interview that was Lindsay's second appearance on the podcast, I think, if memory serves me correct. And I wish I would have dug up the episode numbers to say them here, but they will be in the show notes. But you can also just go to the Unstarving Musician website and search for Lindsay White, and you'll definitely find her there, or on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. But so what I understand about it, it is a collective of some really smart and talented ladies, predominantly based in the San Diego area, but it sounds like it's sprawling out all over the place. And they are, among other things, knowledge sharing and supporting one another in their endeavors in the arts. I believe predominantly music, but if I had to guess, it's not explicitly limited to. I know they have people that are a little more in the industry category, but a lot of artists, I've met at least one other one besides yourself so far from there, so all highly talented, all ladies, I believe, hence the name, and they do have a website, which I will mention, I think, and it is ladybrainpresents.com, where you can learn more about it. So I didn't know they were doing these monthly showcase things. So we were speaking a little bit about how you connected with Lindsay and how this invitation came about. So maybe you can expand on it, or you can tell it all over just for listeners so that they can kind of get a feel for how you've gotten involved and got nominated as the spokesperson for the event today.
Well, I mean, going back to Lindsay, just sort of the whole networking, musician that you meet while you're playing around touring. And I honestly hadn't even heard of it until she mentioned it to me. And then I kind of went on their Facebook group and checked out and sort of gathered from posts and stuff that not only do they present these performance events, they also do collectively just gather meetings and talk about, the ins and outs of touring, or just, promotion ideas or branding. I think it's just a whole gamut of everything that you sort of need to learn or want to learn in promoting yourself, booking yourself as an artist, how to be your own tour manager, all the things that you kind of have to learn to do on the business side of music that doesn't necessarily involve just performing and writing. And I'm sure there's also, I don't know if they do workshops that revolve around songwriting or do prompts or anything like that, but that's sort of my understanding of it.
Yeah, I think you recapped my understanding as well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that they have had workshops, and it sounds like there are a lot of really smart people involved in it, which is so nice for everyone who is involved in it, because they are sharing what they know and helping one another in doing so. I guess I should mention, and then I'd love to talk a little bit about your touring and how it ultimately leads you to the event on Wednesday, October 9th. But there's a little piece here, excuse me, about the venue that whomever put together this press release included. It sounds kind of nice. I thought I'd read it here, but it says, "It's a little jarring how we have all become so accustomed to drifting off into the mindless glow of virtual existence. Listening room concerts are a wonderful way for the community to reconnect and engage with local artists and the businesses who showcase them. These spaces are so healing, and these artists are so worthy of the community's full attention." Do you have many opportunities as an artist when you're touring to play in these more listening room environments, as opposed to, I'm assuming you kind of have a mix of things that you do, ranging maybe everything from clubs, bars, to house concerts and private events. Do you get a chance to do much of the listening room thing?
Yeah. I mean, so far we've played we did a house concert in Salt Lake, which was great. And then prior to that, we played, we do play some breweries. We play a couple of breweries in Boise, and then we played a really cool stage in Pendleton, Oregon, that had a really good, attentive crowd. And while you're touring, you kind of reach out to musicians who have played some of these spots and can give you feedback. And I generally tend to find venues that aren't necessarily bars, but that are more listening type environments. For example, tonight we're actually playing, we're in Amarillo, like I said, and we're playing a bed and breakfast down in this canyon. And I only found out about that because I had connected with a musician in Portland named Beth Wood, who connected to me to this lady named Jenny Inzerillo, who does some public radio in Amarillo. And she gave me a list of a bunch of venues to contact. So it's like connecting the dots, like how we ended up here is it's like just reaching out to people and finding people that want to host you. We're doing another house concert in Phoenix. So I like listening type rooms way more than bars. It's just, you just get a more attentive audience and you don't have to feel like you're trying to yell to get their attention.
Yeah, and I've heard that there's so much value in the connections and relationship building you can do with the audience at those types of shows, especially in house concerts, and, enabling you an opportunity to, connect with people that are genuinely interested in what you're doing and what you're planning on doing, and maybe seeing you again the next time you come through, and maybe even hosting you again. Has that been the case for you?
Yeah, our house concert that we did in Salt Lake, that was our second time there. And that connection formed through a festival that I had played a couple years ago, and one of the people I met there connected me to the sound guy who did these house concerts. So it all sort of winds back to networking and the people you meet and remembering those people and then taking their suggestions on where to play the next time you come to town and who to reach out to. And yeah, so I have a lot of random scraps of paper with people's names or venues' names on them by the end of a tour.
Are you kind of curious? Oh, I see. So by the end of the tour, and I guess that a lot of these people make their way onto your email list, so you can kind of, let them know that whether you're coming through or just let them know whatever you have going on. Is that the case? Kind of part of the process for you, and in terms of being able to rinse and repeat the whole thing, next year or 6 months later?
Yeah, I have what I do for my mailing list is I actually have, I do my mailing list through MailChimp, and they actually make an app that you can put on your iPhone or your iPad. So I have an iPad with this app on it, and that way I can just put the iPad out with my merch, and people can just put their name, their email, and their zip code in. And then it logs it into a database and will upload it or update it whenever I have Wi-Fi. It'll do it automatically.
Very nice.
So that I don't have to try and decipher people's handwriting, because it gets old after a while.
Yeah, I was talking about this with another artist recently, and we were, it's funny, I'm not surprised to hear that MailChimp has gone to the trouble to create an app. I think long ago when I used to use MailChimp, when I was out at some gigs I was doing, excuse me, I would just have a link on my phone to take take me to the sign-up page. So if somebody was interested in joining my list, they could do that. So this was not really in listening room, so I'm kind of like, working the crowd between sets and meeting people, and so I'd let them sign up that way. And I'm pretty sure there was no app at that time, but what a great idea. And yeah, we were having a lot of funny conversation about the, when you have to go old school, that he's even gone to the extent of making a sign-up form that has blocks on it, so that people are forced to write in blocks, so that their handwriting is, the chances of deciphering it after the fact are much easier. But certainly the app makes it way easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just hard because, like, your N's can look like R's, and it's just, it's the nature of people's handwriting.
Absolutely. So you connect with Lindsay. Funny enough, I haven't talked to a lot of artists about the active networking while you're on tour. So it sounds like you're already on tour and you connect with Lindsay, and this event coming up by Lady Brain Presents is a day that got plugged in. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
Yep.
And you do not know yet, other than maybe online acquaintance, since being featured or set up to be featured at this event. Did you, by chance, I'm assuming not, but did you by chance already know Rebekkah Darling or Julia Sage, who are also going to be there? Or are you going to meet them for the first time?
I did not. I did not.
Nice. That's nice.
So it's great, because now it's like, not only do I have the connection with Lindsay now, but I also have, 2 more people that I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah. So you mentioned you said something earlier. You said we. So I assume you're traveling or you're touring with your full band?
No, I tour mostly in a duo with another guitarist. His name's Mark Bowden.
Okay.
And we've been touring together for about 5 years or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mentioned, I said full band because I saw some videos of yours, which are great. Looked like it's kind of got a montage of, one of the ones I saw is a montage of live performance in it, and you did have a full band. Is that a group of people that you play with any regularity?
Yeah, usually I haven't done like any touring yet, really, with the full band. But like we'll do full band shows with those folks that are in the video in Portland, or like regionally, like in Salem and Seattle.
Nice. Looks like it sounds like a great bunch of players. And as I started perusing your music today, I was most taken aback by your voice. So kudos to you, whatever you've been doing all this time, getting good at singing. You sound fantastic.
It's constant singing. That's what it is.
I bet. And is your, let's see, is Be Loud your second release?
It's actually my 4th.
Okay.
I released my first EP back in 2013, and then after that I released a full length in 2015 called Into the Depths. Mm-hmm. And then in 2016 I released like a live album from that I recorded the previous year. Okay. And then Be Loud came out last year.
Okay. Is the live release available in all the same places as Be Loud and the...
No. I think the live one's only on my Bandcamp.
Okay. I look forward to hearing that. Yeah. I'll check it out. And, okay, so you know as much or a little more than I do about the Lady Brain Collective. You know more about the day of the event that's coming up because you're part of it. What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to? What does this whole thing mean to you, being part of it?
I think it's just connecting with the other female musicians in a region that I've never really played in. I've never been to San Diego. I've never played down there. it's the furthest south that I've been in California.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking forward to kind of seeing what the vibe is, what their stories are, and and playing at a cool venue. I heard Lestat is a pretty cool venue. Really good. They're known for being a good listening room, and also, you play in your venue, and that way you're more likely to be able to, you create that connection, so you can come back at a later time, and you meet, you increase your fan base, you meet new people that are in that region who are going to hear your music for the first time. So that's really exciting. And
that's cool.
It's just kind of exploring new territory. It's just exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking at your busy tour schedule, and yes, San Diego sort of just jumps out. But you are doing some things in California. I see Encinitas, Los Angeles, mm-hmm. Woodland Hills, and then back up to Oregon. But man, you have a busy schedule, and I do see that you are headed over to Austin next. So with a lot of dates there, that's fun. I have some new friends from Austin by way of the podcast, and some that I just know because I'm from Texas, and then some I know who moved from California where I lived for a long time who are out there now. So, well, best of luck on your gig tonight, Break a Leg, and then on the upcoming Lady Brain Presents gig, which again, let's see here, get it in front of me. I'm looking at your big tour schedule. Wednesday, October 9 in San Diego, California. And yeah, I guess we're about to debate how to say it. It looks like Lestats to me, but Lestats. I'm not sure how to pronounce it either. I thought of the vampire Lestat when I saw it. So maybe it's Lestats, but it sounds like a great venue. I presume you're going to get to meet Lindsay there. So that'll be fun. And the other artists that you're connecting with, Rebekkah Darling, who I hope to connect with myself, as well as Julia Sage. So Karyn, thank you again a million for coming on, and promise me that we can reconnect again for a kind of full format hour episode about all things Karyn Ann and what you've been doing throughout your music journey.
Yeah, definitely reach out to you, and we'll stay connected.
Sounds wonderful. Hey, well, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon, since we're going to put this thing out into the wild, and I'll let you know where all the details are. So thank you again. And I guess for those of you that are interested in finding out about all things Karyn Ann, who I'm speaking with today, it is KarynAnn.com, and that's KarynAnn.com. I'll put it in the show notes, and that website takes you to every other place it looks like you can find Karyn online on socials, and as well as to stream and purchase her music. So Karyn, have a good one.
Great. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks again for listening. If you are loving the podcast, please visit unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor to learn about the various ways that you can offer your support. And again, if you're a listener, I consider you a supporter, especially if you shared it with a friend. Thank you. Have you heard of Bandzoogle? Yep, they're powering websites for musicians all over the world. Their easy system will get you online fast. They have tons of mobile-friendly templates to help you custom design your site and content. It's built for musicians by musicians. They make it easy to sell merch, grow your email list, integrate your socials, and they offer support from a musician-friendly team 7 days a week. Plans are affordable. Go to bandzoogle.com to start a free trial, and be sure to use the promo code Robonzo to get 15% off your first year. That's bandzoogle.com, promo code Robonzo, ROBONZO. Look for show notes and links to most everything mentioned in this episode at unstarvingmusician.com/podcast. Thanks so much for listening. With a whole lot of gratitude, peace, love, and more cowbell.